Okay, we're recording, right? Yeah. So I am talking to Hannah Berner, and your podcast is Burning in Hell, which I talked about on this show. It's Burning in Hell, right? Or it's Hannah
Mm-hmm.
Burning in Hell. It's just Burning in
Yeah.
Hell.
It's a little fun pun on my
It
last
is. It
name.
really is cute.
We
And
have fun.
I've been talking. I've been posting about it. I had recorded Summer House, and then during this last couple weeks of the quarantine, I like to sit out in my pool, and I have a TV out there,
Ah,
and I watch the Summer House, and then I drink with you guys in the afternoon in my pool. I also do it for below deck sailing
who
because I'm.
would you hook up with? Which guy? Just tell me now.
Oh my god! Well, definitely you picked the best one, Luke.
Oh, thank you. But I could
So
see you flirting it up with all of them.
definitely Luke. However, so okay, we're gonna get into all of it.
Sorry, I
Um,
got excited.
everybody has to do exactly what I said, especially if you're just gonna like, if you feel like it's beautiful outside, but you can't go outside based on where you live, or you choose not to, or whatever. Um, it is fun, and so I'm guessing you guys can't tape this summer.
I think that they are trying to do anything they can to let us tape this summer. You know, when you have momentum and we might do some type of quarantine house situation, but nothing's been greenlit, but we might all murder each other stuck in a house.
I would do that in a hot second if I were you guys. Maybe you
Yeah.
could all get tested, know that everyone's safe, know that all the crew is safe, and definitely just go and either go to that house, maybe even a bigger house,
Mhm.
and
Throw in a couple new people. They also talked about
yeah,
being more Big Brother-esque, where like we don't have producers and we just have like I don't know,
that's a
just
good
less people,
idea.
and it's more Big Brother like, and maybe there's a confessional room, which I would love. I just talk shit the whole time in the confessional room.
Yeah, but you guys, I mean, it's a different show in the sense that even though there were some fights and stuff
Yeah.
among the castmates, it never was a big deal. It never lasted that long. That's the thing I really like about Summer House is that it really reminds me of college, except that you guys are older than college. Like you're all like around or pushing 30.
Mhm.
But and also like below deck sailing. There's something about I love, which I please let the world get back to normal because I miss this. I love those weekends, whether it's for me, I live in LA, so it's like Vegas or Palm Springs or Laguna Beach thing, where you
Oh,
leave on a Friday, Friday night's fun, Saturday is like the greatest day ever. Sunday, you're like, how long do I stay? Do I have brunch? Do I just get a coffee and get on the freeway at 9? And then also like below deck sailing, it's not necessarily a weekend, but it's you come in the afternoon and you have 2 nights, a
mhm.
breakfast, and then it's like get out. And I'm always like depressed at the Sunday part of it. Did
Oh
you guys
yeah.
get the Sunday scaries? Like I always
Oh
wondered,
yeah.
how did you have to stay till like 3 before you could leave on a
Well, I do
Sunday?
think it's such a great escapism right now during quarantine. But yeah, some Sundays we would stay till 3. Sometimes the people who are better at partying than I am would go to Montauk and just like have a Sunday night. Some people would sleep over and take the really early like jitney or drive out early in the morning. But I'm one of those people that I'm like kind of an introvert, even though I'm very extroverted. And after enough social bullshit, I'm like, I just want to go home and be alone with my cat. So I was like Sunday at 3, call it a weekend. But yeah, we all then have to go to New York and work.
So the concept of Summer House is this is the 4th season. This is the only season I've really watched. I met a couple Summer House people when I went to the Hamptons a few years ago and I was hanging out with Jill Zarin and her daughter
Oh
Allie.
my gosh,
And
love.
it was, I don't even know what their names were. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to like, who's that? I don't know her, but I really don't remember. She was a really pretty blonde and there was a gay
Oh,
guy.
the Workuses and Stephen McGee.
Okay.
I never filmed with them. But
Okay, so they were pretty fun to hang out with, but I guess and then they were like, "Do you know the drama? How we're not coming back, or should They were with us, and they're like, "Oh, we know that they're filming at this place. Should we show up?" And I was kind of bummed because it was like the one show that I wasn't really aware of,
uh
And
huh.
so
Uh huh.
then people were like, Heather, you got to start watching Summer House. It's so good. It's so good. So then I started to tape it, and I really like it, and I got really into it. And
That makes me so happy because people were messaging me going, you got to meet Heather on Juicy Scoop. And I was like, I don't think she watches. I can't force the lady to watch. But also, I love you from Chelsea Lately. That's where I discovered you.
Oh,
Chelsea
thank
Lately.
you.
You were spectacular. Funny story. I met Chris Frangiola
yes.
in Montauk because he loves to hang there. I guess he has family there.
Well, yeah,
3 years ago.
Every year he'd rent a house in Montauk.
So
And
I
he's
don't
from
know,
the East Coast. He's from Long Island, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want you to know you're welcome if we ever film again. I feel like you'd fit right in.
Oh my God, I would
Come to a party.
What I did love, so the group is, and I'm going to go through all the names. So we've got you, Hannah, and so and they tell you they let the world know you're a podcaster. You didn't have to like work at like a clothing store or a coffee shop or anything. So I like that.
Yeah, like Jersey Shore. I didn't have to start selling T-shirts at the shore.
We got Luke, who was your dry humping friend all summer long, which we'll get into that relationship. He was new to the group, and he is a hockey coach, and he's a babe. However, on the reunion, not as cute as when he was in the summer. I mean, I know you guys can't go outside, but someone should have sent him like some Jergens self tanner. Also, like the longer hair and shit. Like I was like. I mean, he was such a babe on the show.
He has a fetish for making himself look ugly. I think because he's so objectified his whole life, he loves trying to make himself look ugly. And my thing with beards is get a beard if you don't have a jawline and you want to be a beard guy. If you have a jawline, show it off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm very passionate about that.
I love it. Okay, let's see. You got Lindsay, who's very pretty, and she's a publicist. And she, they were a little bit mean about her plastic surgery. I'm kind of obsessed with the East Coast look of girls and stuff because it's very different. It's very different than what I'm used to being born and raised here in the valley part of LA. And also from my era. It was boob jobs, nose jobs, highlights, hair that's done. I mean, a lot of hair that you guys do. I think you had wet hair the entire time. I saw it, like, it was always you just
getting. I brushed my hair once. My mom literally turned to me and was like, I wish you would brush your hair during season. And then someone tweeted at me going, does Hannah ever brush her hair? And I'm like, no.
It was always like
my hair dries.
Yeah, it's always just like you got out of the shower, you know?
It's also, we don't have our own glam, so it's kind of hard to look good the whole entire time.
I like all the outfits. Again, some not as flattering as others. Some I have problems with.
But yeah, East Coast, West Coast, the idea of beauty is different.
Really embracing tiny titties on the East Coast, which I appreciate that the tiny tits are in, which made me think when Paige, who's got very small breasts and a very pretty face and a perfect body and very fashionable, I'm like, why do you have it out for the fact that Lindsay got a tiny boob job? Can I just make a prediction that she's jealous and probably wants to get one once it's allowed again? I bet Paige wishes that she got a little boob job, or she's on the list to get one as soon as those elective surgeries come out. That's my prediction. What do you think?
I think Paige used to put like little chicken cutlets in her boobs last season, and I used to make fun of her because I'm like, how do you hook up with a guy? You like pull him out.
Yeah, you just pull him out like right before
put it in your purse. Yeah. And I was like, you need to own, like, you don't have to wear a bra. Do you know how beautiful that is? Like, stop stuffing your tits and just own it. And I think with Lindsay, like, we don't really make fun of the plastic surgery. It's more that like they were fighting, and I think she was trying to dig at like her being a fake person in general.
Yeah. It's like, really? How can anyone even talk about like fake stuff? You know,
you're in a Bravo. Lindsay owns it.
Yeah, you're in a Bravo
when
show.
Pretend, when people pretend they haven't. It's like, girl, your tits look great. Tell me who did them.
And then we have then we have Danielle, who's kind of like a half in it, right?
She's Lindsay's friend.
Lindsay's friend, who also dates this guy Carl. We'll get into him. Then we have Jules. Jules was like the little horny thing of the summer. Also extremely pretty.
Yes.
But I was just, this is what shocked me about the show. Okay. I just could not believe, like, I understand getting in the bed in the morning, which I love, and recapping the night with your girlfriends about what you sexually did. Fine. And of course, cameras are there. So, yeah, we're going to hear it all. And I've been watching, Real World and everything since the day it began. So I like all that stuff. What I couldn't get over is that you guys would be sitting having dinner and talking about who got fingered, who likes to get choked, that someone has a pre-ejaculation problem, that someone can't ejaculate. Like, I mean, I just couldn't be embarrassed. I was like, and it's everybody's involved in the fact that, like, you're only dry humping and they're angry about it. I was like,
I feel like because we're all just a bunch of horny, drunk children, you just turn into 13-year-olds again. You're like, did you finger her? And it's really the most fun thing to talk about. And we love making fun of each other. And we really are friends where we do feel comfortable talking about it until we don't. And then it's an issue.
So we have Carl, who's 37. Now, he been on the show since the beginning?
Yeah, he's an OG. Him, Kyle, and Lindsay are OGs.
Okay. And then Amanda became Kyle's girlfriend like the first season or whatever. And they're engaged.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so Kyle and Amanda are engaged, and Kyle is also 37. He's like the blonde frat boy, very good looking. I love that you guys had a fraternity party for his birthday because I'm a sorority
East
girl.
Coast vibes.
I loved that whole thing. But I have never, you guys, Kyle, I believe, has put Bethany Frankel to shame with the amount of advertising that Loverboy got. I think she probably has written 2 angry letters to Bravo if she has watched your show. Because did you care that you got one scene doing a podcast when all you guys did was talk about Loverboy 24/7? You had Loverboy in the living room. You had you sold Loverboy. You talked about Loverboy. He made his fiance quit her job so that she could sell Loverboy. Do you even like drinking Loverboy?
He jerked off into a Loverboy, and they're currently dating. He cheated on Amanda with Loverboy. I think that because he's an OG, like, we do respect it, but he tricked us because he was giving us all free Loverboy. Like, we have to bring our own alcohol and buy our own alcohol. The show, like, we have to clean our own parties. It's bullshit. And he came with tons of free alcohol, and we were like, well, thank you.
And what is Loverboy? Just like a flavored vodka drink or something in a can?
Yeah, it's a sparkling tea that he's doing. And, like, I wish the best for everyone in the show. I actually did, like, I've been doing stand-up, and I had, like, a whole show at Gotham Comedy Club. You probably performed there. And,
yes, of course, yeah.
And, like, it was a big deal, and it was, like, my
must have been
my
so
first
excited,
sold-out show.
yeah.
So exciting.
But we're not going to feature it because you know why?
Because you can't be a podcaster and a stand-up. That's too confusing.
It's way too confusing. And also, you weren't holding a Loverboy can.
But I mean, I hope that Loverboy does great, and I hope I still get free alcohol in the summer, so I cannot say anything bad about it. It tastes really good too.
I'm sure I would love it. I mean, I say props to you. Like, he used this the way you're supposed to use this show to the best of the ability.
He was always wearing merch. I don't think Bravo necessarily wanted it, but he was very strategic, and he wants to be an entrepreneur, so good for him.
Yes. And so then he gets Carl to work for him, but then Carl drank half of the inventory. And Carl,
which we all saw from miles away.
Carl, it's just like kind of a sad sack story. It really is. He's 37. I like that he's tall. That's probably the only thing I'm attracted to. I like dark hair. I like that. Maybe that's why the shorts are up his crotch, because I can't find one that's fits a 6'5" person. They're very tight.
Yes.
I'm probably got a yeast infection or two. I hope you guys gave him some cranberry juice during the summer, because
we all have a little yeast infection during the summer going in that hot tub. It's just part of the summer.
And so one night, Carl and Lindsay, who are OGs and best friends, because every summer they're going here every weekend, They get real wasted and they don't even kiss, but he leans over and fingers her.
The
How
no
do you-
kiss finger bang.
How
heard
do
around the
you
world.
how do you get yeah, how does that happen?
So I actually was very disturbed by this, so I had to get more details. Apparently, he was spooning her from behind and reached over, which still, again, I need a little kiss. I need a little foreplay before the insertion. I apologize to anyone listening if this is getting graphic, but yeah, we all thought it was so weird, and we made fun of them for weeks.
Okay, so then she's all excited and she's like, I'd like to find a husband. I'd like to have some kids. They go on one date in the city and just end up screaming at each other.
That
And
was my
then-
favorite day. They're drinking those like airport little alcohol things. I don't even know where you get those little things of Fireball, like this big, just chugging them. Definitely not good for the environment. Just get a bottle at that point. And I love how they thought it would make them nice and loose and romantic, and instead they were just like, I fucking can't stand you.
Yeah, so then they break up and decide they just want to be friends. Now, let's talk about the amount of drinking that even in my craziest spring break days. Do you guys? Okay, so this is what I see on the show. Okay, so you get there, you get there like 5:30. You start to drink. That's fine. You have like a cute dinner somewhere. Which I can imagine if you guys didn't have a camera crew with you, how hard would it be for a group of 10 to get a table at these hot spots in the summer? Would you have to make a reservation like a year in advance?
Yeah, and that's probably what they did, especially to people just watch us fight in this crowded restaurant because it's packed. The restaurants are so busy during the summer. And then
Yes,
there's
so
us.
So then you go there and you have your drinks and everything, and then you go to the Southampton Social, which I got to go there a couple summers ago when I was with Allie Shapiro and all her friends. So I had the experience.
Gosh.
And
Did
I
you
go,
go
I
to the
just-
cabanas?
Yes, I mean we were with some rich, trust fund kid that had it all hooked up. I mean, I was definitely like there was maybe there was probably like 5 men there that was as old as I was.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's very young, like too young for me sometimes.
oh my God. But I loved it. I danced. I saw all the just the 1%ers. Now, do the 1%ers that are there
Uh-huh.
that truly are going every weekend to their parents' home, like where
Yep.
they've gone all the time. They don't need to do a share house. They don't need to be with the peasants. Are they snobby to you people that are not 1%ers that have to go on a reality show and talk about fingering so that you can have a place to stay?
The show was not accepted at first. At first they were in Montauk, which is this like nice community.
Yes.
And they were like, we don't want a party show. But realistically, Montauk has become like one of the top partying places because it's more affordable than the Hamptons. But we got kicked out of Montauk. And there's certain places in the Hamptons that wouldn't let us film. But now that the show is, we would do scenes and people would like yell and make fun of us while we were shooting. Or be like, you guys fucking suck. And like, or like jump in front of cameras. And they're drunk kids anyway. But we started to get respect our 3rd season as like, oh, this show is actually like some quality reality TV content. And now people are letting us go in more restaurants. But like we had to really earn the respect of the community because it is a small community still. They just didn't want there was a rumor that someone had sex in the bushes once by our house near someone else's house, and the neighbors were fuming. But we haven't had sex in at least 2 years in any bush, so I think they're liking us more.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so you go out. Okay, that night I can understand that amount of drinking, that fun. And then the next morning, everyone wakes up around 9:45. Someone starts making some bacon. You put on like as I said, some bathing suits cuter than others. I'm very against 1940s high-waisted bathing suit pants.
That's all I wore.
I don't like it.
Are we going to get in a fight?
No, because I like your body. I like that you have like a
you.
nice ass and very
God,
good
thank you.
abs. And you're athletic, and like I like that curvy body. I like the white jeans and a bralette out to have
But
some dinner.
you're right. After watching it, I think I'm done with the trend. It's so much more sexy to like, I don't know. It's sexier to do low rise, but at the time it was like I thought I was being fashion.
I know, but
forward.
it's not. And then it's like, and nobody has like underwire bikini tops or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like just like the most nylon, just like smack it on your. Not no, but I like some of the outfits. Okay, like I said, some I like, some I don't. Okay, so everyone puts on their outfit for the day, and then they go out and they're like talking, and they start having some drinks by the pool. Or sometimes you have a big pool party Saturday with other people come, which one of the times I loved that the Southern Charm guys came.
Oh
And
my
you got
gosh.
Craig, Austin, and Shep to come.
Yes.
And then Jules goes out and sleeps and never comes home and sleeps with Craig that night. And that didn't go anywhere, apparently, but whatever. I don't know if she got a pillow out of it. Did she get a pillow out of it?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for taking one for the team. Craig is
Does
a
she have
handsome man.
parents that see this? Like, I always wonder, like,
She
does
comes
anyone?
from a very traditional family, but also I am so pro, like, when there's a hot dude around.
Yeah. I mean, I
Get
say
it,
go for
girl.
it too. I just wonder, like, I think if I was on the show back in the
Yeah.
day and I would be doing shows like this, if believe me, I wouldn't have been walking around. I just interviewed Dana, who is, did stand up twice and then got on Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, you guys, you understand, like, you're the luckiest fucking people in the world. Like, I had to pay for agents.
She's selling out arenas.
I had to literally like invite agents to come, pay for them to come see me do stand up, and then they would like represent the guy that went on before me and not stay for my set. I mean, those
in like
are true.
a basement.
Yeah, those are actually it was down in this West Hollywood basement. That is what I had to do. So I was kind of like,
But
yeah, I'm all
but
for
Heather,
this shit.
The
I would
thing
be.
the thing with stand up is like if you can get certain lineups and in certain places from your name or your following, but if you're not fucking funny, you're not going anywhere, and you have to put in the work, and you know that.
No, I know. Of course, it's great. Anyway, if you can't stand up, if you can't do stand up very well, just make sure that you can simulate sex very well under covers with that night vision hooked up to your lamp. 'Cause then you have a career. And I say go for it. Like, I can't get enough. So,
Oh my god. Girl, I 100% agree.
okay, so now you've got friends over. You guys are doing shots, drinking. The sun is out. Drinking. Nobody stops to take a nap. Okay, it's 9:20. You've been drinking, from what I can calculate, since noon. All right,
Yeah.
you guys are ready to go out. You get in an Uber at like 10 and rip it till 2. What is the secret? Do you have the IVs going in your veins before you fall asleep? Do you do a Botox slap? Like, can you share how,
Yeah.
A, how did you even handle the hangovers? B, do you think you're an alcoholic?
Both two great, legitimate, great questions. I'm the worst drinker in the house, and I drink a lot less than everyone else. And I love napping. That's why Sunday I'm like, white flag. Just get me home.
I can't even imagine.
In peace. But Paige and I did this thing. First of all, you have to eat. It's hard because you want to look skinny in the morning for cameras, but if you don't eat, the alcohol will eat you alive. So
Right.
like I have to. We all snack. And I gained 10 pounds during season, but I've just accepted that's what happens for me to survive because I'm not used to drinking and eating that much during a normal year.
Okay.
Then in the morning, Paige and I get a bowl, and we put ice in it and water, and we try to suffocate and drown ourselves until our face is like numb and it like isn't puffy, and it kind
Okay.
of jolts us awake. Then the pressure of the cameras and people fighting with you keeps you awake. But it's really difficult. I don't do any drugs. I just kind of pray. And then I do try to drink a lot of water. We have like a ton of like hint water and just water lying around that we're chugging.
And do you do Adderall?
I don't.
Well, a lot of people do, and it seems to help
Yeah, it
with
certainly
drinking
does.
with that drinking
Yes.
all day on the
If you want
reality
to
shows.
stay up all night, I do recommend Adderall. I personally, this is me with no coffee. Like I'm just a hyper person, so I couldn't do Adderall. I'd be so fucking annoying.
Also,
on
I
TV
think
if I had
something that
Adderall.
really helps when you're hungover, people, is if you don't care about getting your hair wet, which Hannah never did, go do some laps in the pool. Like, I think that really helps. I think really feeling like water on your head, to me, I think that's the best hangover cure.
I also would play tennis every morning with
Oh, that
Luke.
sounds horrible. That
It's
sounds like the
horrible.
horrible.
Horrible, but he's so hot, and I would just like watch his abs, and I would like make fun of him for being bad at tennis, and it would like pep me up. And then sweating, jumping in the pool, taking a shower is great, but it sucks. I don't want to be filmed right after a shower, but sometimes you have to.
Okay, so we get into the Luke thing. You guys have chemistry. He's flirty. Every weekend, you're kind of making out with each other in each other's beds, but you're making it very clear to everybody that every weekend you drive the 3 hours, with a fresh pussy, you've douched, you are thinking this is going to be the weekend that I'm going to finally get full penetration. And every Sunday you go home and say, oh, we just went to third base or whatever, 3.5 base. And we did everything else but, or, I don't know. And then all of a sudden your two best friends, little Titty Page and who's the other one? Amanda. Get furious that they finally heard some orgasm sounds coming from your room. And they're like, I am livid. I am livid. And I'm like, why are you livid? Like, your friend finally got off. And Lindsay, the blonde with the boob job, is very happy for you. And is like, oh, good. Like, I'm glad, like, you got some. Good for you, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and it's not even full sex. Like, why did they get so mad that he held off full sex from you?
If we had sex, it would have lasted 3 minutes. He went down on me for an hour, at least, and it was the most feminist thing I've ever done in my life.
Like
I did not even give him a blowjob.
The most Christian service thing that he could have done, and they're just why are they so
He's
mad?
a saint. The man is a saint.
Why are they so mad that he wouldn't bone you? Did they interpret it as that he wasn't really into you, or was it? I just don't get it. Like, because I blue-balled guys. I didn't have sex till I was 27. I didn't understand why they stopped calling me, and then I finally realized, oh, it's because I'm not sleeping with them. So I guess it was like the reversal watching it of just like, do you like me or don't you? And I was like, I think he was pretty honest about the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that also we were hanging out all during the week, so even if he was like sleeping with other people, I was like his emotional blow up doll. Like, he'd call me on the phone. I knew this man cared about me, and I knew that he was like still fucked up with his ex, whatever, but I like to have sex with people I have a crush on, and I knew he had a crush on me, and that was enough for me to have a fun summer fling. And I guess they were being very trepidatious about like me getting hurt or whatever, but I'm like, I'm 28. I've been hurt a bazillion times by dudes. I'm not a dumbass. I don't think he's my Prince Charming. I'm not going to run away happy ever after with him. I think he's so hot, and I'm not here to get married. I'm here to have fun at a summer house. And they weren't like on the same page with that.
You know what I think we could learn from as women from this situation and from Vanderpump Rules with Katie Stassi and Kristen. And is that as girlfriends, you're like confide in each other and you feel like you can be there, but then they're like gonna hold you to your shit. Like, you said how dare you have a good time? How dare you go back on your word because a dick walked by? And it's like almost like
We've
feel like
all done that.
I almost feel like girls should have like a little disclosure, like a little like NDA or something. Like, hey, I'm gonna vent, I'm gonna bitch, but if I'm drunk and this guy with his dick whispers in my ear at 2 a.m. and I want to go down on him or him go down on me or we want to screw, I don't need to get like yelled at by the pool after because I didn't stick to our girlfriend plan of like me not being fingered. Like, I think
also I was playing games with him. Like, when I said I just want to be friends with him, I knew that would make him come running to me. Like, if anyone was manipulative, it was me. I'm like, I'm manipulating his ass right now. He's not as smart as you think.
And then like the fact that the day after the going down on you, the whole place was like, we need to know. Did you have sex or not? Like, I'm like, how many people are in this relationship? It was so weird. I thought that was the weirdest thing. I was just like, the only person that was normal about it was Lindsay, who was just like, what is going on? Like, who gives a shit? Like, ugh. Meanwhile,
Also, yeah,
go
Lindsay
ahead.
was hanging out with us during the week, so Lindsay like knew the like time. My love language is quality time, and we'd spend all week together having fun. So to her, it seemed like, yeah, let them have fun. They like each other.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, then let's get into my other thing that really is when we started DMing each other because I was posting on Instagram story. So Jules gets some guy named Jordan. I don't know where he came from, but obviously he wanted to be on the show and he didn't want to pay rent. So
He was a cast member last season.
Oh, that's where he came from. Okay.
Yeah.
And where did Jules come from?
So this is the tea that Jordan met Jules in Chicago during the winter, said they like hooked up or whatever. He basically introduced her to me, and Jordan did not get brought back and Jules did. So there was that tension underlying when that happened.
Okay, so the only way he can be featured on the show is as her date. So when he's, making out with her and everything in her bed, he's not getting paid. He's just signing a release.
I think he was kind of like a friend of, because he was an original castmate. So he's not just signing a release.
You think you got a couple bones?
Yeah.
Some money.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then, they keep getting together, and she keeps telling you guys that he never actually inserts his penis, or he can't get off or whatever, and everyone's talking about it in front of him, and then finally she comes up to you guys and she goes, "So, great news. Jordan finally had an orgasm because we realized that he enjoys being choked, and I like to choke people. So I choked him, and so for his birthday, I brought these handcuffs, and I plan on handcuffing him to a doorknob, which I didn't understand how that seems like weird or easy to get off.
Technical logistic issues.
Yeah,
in it.
and then I'm going to straddle him and have sex with him and then choke him. And just as he's passing out because he's lost oxygen and semen, I'm going to take off his clothes and leave him there.
And we all were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I was like, is this an episode of Dateline? This sounds like a murder scene.
But we all were like such enabling friends. Like, I remember being like, this is a terrible idea. And then being like, can't wait to hear how it turns out.
And so then she, the camera guy's there in his cargo shorts, like filming it, and she's straddling him. And she's like,
guy's like regretting all his life decisions at that moment.
And he's like, no, I don't even like you anymore. And then he's just like, no, we're done. We're over with. She's like, what? I thought you want to be choked again. And he's like, no, I decided I don't want to live. Like, this isn't worth it. And he just gets in an Uber and leaves. And then, or did he come back? And when does it happen where then all of a sudden Carl is like, I hate you both, and I want you both off the show and out of the house.
Yeah. So there was like a little meeting where also we didn't know if their relationship was real or fake, and it was starting to piss us all off because like we all are putting ourselves out there, and Jordan was sketchy. We thought Jules was being sketchy, and someone brought up, not me, that they should be kicked out. And then Carl, Carl, he's hammered. And I don't think he really cared that much, but it was like the perfect excuse to snap on someone.
Okay. So then he goes, okay, just leave. So then they decide to keep Jules, who's crying. And everyone's like, no one really even likes you or cares about you anyway or whatever. And so then she's like, oh, God, well, now who do I have to screw? So then she screws someone from a completely different show, Craig, which just got her nowhere. And then by August, Carl's become drinking every night, and the kickboxing girl or whatever didn't want to go on a hike with him, and then he's alone, and Jules and him end up screwing in the end, right?
Yeah. And his whole thing was like, Jules, we can't kiss. I don't want to get complicated. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, should I have a threesome with Jules and Danielle? I didn't even know him and Danielle were hooking up. I was playing tennis or whatever I was doing.
But did they have a threesome? Did I miss that?
No, but he was he was like, should I? Because Danielle and him were hooking up on the low. Jules was like liking him.
Do you think
Yeah.
that? Do you think they would have? Do you think Danielle then and Jules would have had to go down on each other?
Well, we find out at the end that Jules and Danielle hate each other. And
Oh,
they would
hate
never
each
want.
other.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Oh, and do they hate each other because they both boned Carl?
It's always a lot of different things. I don't know if anything specific happened, but they definitely didn't like the competition of it all. And after watching it, Danielle being like, I'm better than Jules. And Jules is like, I would never have a threesome with Danielle. And I was like, okay, those are fighting words.
Yeah, you do sound like that. Jules, she has that voice. She actually kind of sounds like Sheena, actually from Vanderpump. She's like, "Are you kidding me right now?" There's a lot of "Are you kidding me right now? Are you
And there's
serious?"
There's an extra
Yeah.
vowel after everything. Like
Yeah.
she'd be like, I was so happy.
Yeah,
And you're like, okay, you'd save a lot of time in your life if you just cut those extra vowels out. But
yeah.
who am I to talk?
So when it comes towards the end of the summer, are you happy like it's the last weekend, almost like the job's ending, or are you sad like because the summer, like anybody, the summer's ending and you have to get back to real life?
I think it's about 13 weeks. There's a time at about week 10 where you're like, I don't know if I can make it. And everyone, like the way they breathe, the way they blink, the way they chew is annoying the shit out of you. But then by around the last weekend, you have that little piece of like, I can't believe this is over and I have to go to like normal life. But also part of you is like, if I have to look at alcohol again, I don't know if I can make it. So that's why I'm worried if we do like a quarantine house, which hasn't been greenlit or anything, but like it's going to be, it's emotional. It's like drunk group therapy. And it's just like this, just mind fucks and like actual fucking sometimes and fingering and drinking. It's really difficult, but overall fun, if that makes sense.
And okay, so and how did you get on the show 2 years ago?
So I actually was working for this media company called Betches, where I was like writing comedy videos and like I was like the comedy video producer there. And I interviewed Summer House. I even interviewed Stephen McGee and Carl, and I never watched the show, and I was kind of making fun of them. And then we kind of knew the Summer House people from around in New York City, and I just got a call, and they were like, we're recasting, your name's been thrown around, we heard you're outgoing. Would you be interested? And I'm like, I mean, I grew up going to Long Island. I'm like, but I don't want to be your hot mess. I was like, I want to show that women could be like, you know, funny and sporty and outgoing and take up space, and like I could talk about anxiety and depression. Turns out I am a hot mess of a show. But at the time I was like, this is a cool opportunity. And I started my podcast like 2 years ago before the show aired as like a avenue for me to talk about like more real shit if people liked me on the show. And then
That's
it kind of
good.
just went from there.
And do you so what has it been like? Wait, first of all, where do you and Luke stand? Because I still didn't. I mean, I get from the reunion, which I watched last night, that you're not together.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to
So-
Minnesota. He was gonna at the end. He said, "I'm gonna bring her to Minnesota and meet my family." And again, everyone was just like freaking out about that. And so you ended up not going. Why did you end up not going?
So it turned out like after that he had to teach hockey, and he just like didn't have a week that he wanted to go, and I was not like pushing it. And then it got kind of cold, and I was like, I don't really want to go to Minnesota. And I've like met his parents. I know his sisters. We're close. What happened is the reunion, we got into a big fight 2 weeks before the reunion, like our first big fight.
Just 2
I
weeks
think
ago. When was the reunion tape?
The reunion was taped like 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks
Okay.
before that we
So
were
a month
into
ago.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
you got in
so
a fight.
we got in a fight, like a combination of like the show, like there was stuff going on that like I think he was getting a lot of hate on Twitter, and he was kind of taking some out on me. I was making fun of his singing and guitar playing on my Instagram in front of a lot of people. He got mad at me, and we kind of had a moment where I snapped, and I was like, fuck you. Like, I've been here for you this whole time. Don't try to turn on me. Don't take this out on the person you care about. And then the reunion came along, and I was like, I'm not going to make up with him. I'm still pissed at him. And we had a pretty, like, I didn't like how he kind of came at me at the reunion. And then afterwards he called and he apologized, and we talk every day. He's like a cool guy in my life, but I still don't think he's like the right guy for me.
Is there anybody that if they do the quarantine thing that you think would not return or that you would be happy if they didn't return?
I think everyone fucking brings it on this show and they have such strong personalities. I do think like Jules didn't naturally connect with everyone for a variety of reasons. I do think I got a lot of heat when I said like I wasn't connecting with Jules and she needs to own her shit. Because I mean, it came out in the reunion, like Luke and her like fucking hated each other, and she had like physically hit Luke in an Uber once, and I was just taking Luke's side in the situation because I don't think you should put your hands on people.
Right.
And I just kind of don't need.
First
that
of all,
backlash.
I want to tell you something. If I can clarify this, Jules, I happen to be in the room with Heather. That was not my intention to hit Luke. I was in the back of an Uber and I meant to flick the back of his head, and my fingernail got caught into his skull, and then blood started to happen, and it was totally unfortunate, and I had to pay for the Uber cleaning bill. There's some exclusive tea. Thank you, Jules.
You nailed
Just inserted
it.
that. Just
Jules, that was nice. Thank you for the cameo. So yeah, I mean, I just dealt with so much hate. Like people were calling me like a bully and all this stuff, but I wasn't allowed to say like kind of what happened that made me feel that way, and it was tough.
Yeah.
Because I have a big mouth, and I want to tell my side.
Right. And then is Lindsay still with her Steven guy?
Lindsay's still with Steven. Steven. We love Steven. He's adorable. He's like an angel. He does calm her down. But I'm worried, like, if we film again, season 2 is tougher in a relationship versus just an introduction. Now we're not gonna take it easy anymore.
Right. And so where are you right now?
I'm
quarantined?
actually in Long Island
Oh,
with
okay.
my parents.
Oh,
I'm,
good.
14 years old again. I'm rehashing everything I need to go over in therapy again.
And did you go out there right at the beginning of the quarantine, like a couple months ago, or
It's
halfway
actually
through?
wild. I went to Los Angeles. I like just started my first like tour where I do like stand up and I have some Q&A, and like I just started doing live shows for Burning in Hell, and I did Dynasty Typewriter, Cobb's Comedy, and then it all got canceled. And about March 10th, I went to Long Island, and I've just been podcasting, doing stupid TikToks with my family, and trying to stay sane. Very lonely.
Yeah. And what does it look like there? Because obviously the East Coast is the worst part of it.
I mean, I have a studio apartment in Queens, so I was not going to stay there. Shelter Island's beautiful. It's like a small little island off of the Hamptons, and actually Chelsea used to go there. I taught tennis to her once. I taught tennis to her when she was dating Andre.
Oh, really?
Balazs.
Oh, yeah. That's where they used to go. Yeah.
But you should go Sunset Beach. It's so fun. I don't know.
Oh,
why.
I've been to Sunset Beach.
Yes.
I went to 2 years
That's
ago.
Shelter Island.
Yes, 2 years ago I went to Sunset Beach with the group of kids I was talking about, and then Patty Stanger was there, and Dina Lohan was with us.
Yep,
and,
Dina loves it.
And Jill Zarin, and we were supposed to go. There was like a big ass yacht out, and I wanted to go. I wanted to experience the whole hooker light Hampton 1% experience. So I'm married.
Give a blowjob to some old guy.
I mean, no, obviously not. But like, I'm married, so I've got nothing to lose. So if it's gross guys, like I don't give a shit. It's I know when you're single, you have to be like strategic about your time, and
No, you want to have a breather.
But I was
fun.
like, let me just like be with some, whatever. So Patty Stanger was like, no, we're not going on the boat. They're gross. I just talked to one. I know. Da 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 da.
Was Patty single?
Yeah, she's always single. Yeah. So she was like,
that was my favorite show, Millionaire Matchmaker. Favorite Bravo show of all time.
She's great. So then I'm like, well, I'm like, who was I? I was hanging out with, did you ever watch Ladies of London?
I love Ladies of London.
Okay, so I was hanging out with Jules. And Jules and I, who are both married, we wanted to get the full experience. We're like, well, we don't care that the guys are gross. We're not like out to find a husband. So they're like, okay, come walk down this thing. And we get in this little Tinder boat, and we get on the boat, and it's it's like below deck sailing, or not below deck sailing. It's like below deck. So there's a bunch of food. There's people, real glassware that they'll let you drink on the boat. I was like, this is amazing. I'm like having drinks.
Butlers.
There's a jacuzzi, and then there's like some real hookers there. Yes. Who I immediately made friends with. And
I took in.
absolutely, I took off my shorts. I had like these like real cute Alice and Olivia shorts, and I had a good one piece, and I got in the jacuzzi with the two hookers, and I was just asking them a million questions like, what do you have to do to be on this boat, and getting all the scoop, and it was
This
so much fun.
reminding me of like a Real Housewives of New York episode when they like hopped on those guys' boats and they were like, yes.
Yeah, so then we get off the boat. Okay, this is good. So we get off the boat. The Tinder takes us back to the shelter, to the Sunset Beach place. We get in the car, and we kind of were about to leave Jules because she wasn't going to fit in the car. But she was. I was like, fine, we'll do something illegal, like you sitting on the hump, you skinny bitch, whatever. So we get back and we go to the what is that place called? Bibliocate or something.
Oh, biblioteca? No,
Yes,
that's just
yes.
library in Spanish. Okay, yeah.
It's some name like that, where there's a bunch of boats parked, okay? And then I come back and we have dinner, and Donald Trump Jr. is there in a baseball hat having dinner with Kimberly, and I'm like, oh, hello, like, because I've met Kimberly before, and we sit down and we're having our thing, and then Dina Lohan walks up with some other chick that she met on the boat and just screams at us for leaving her on the yacht. And we're like, it was like, it was like living in a reality show.
That's an episode of Summer House.
I know. And she's like, you guys, and Jill's like, oh my God, Dina, we didn't know. And Jill's there with her dog, and like Jill doesn't drink. So like she wasn't even on the yacht with us. She met us just for the dinner. I'm like enjoying my salmon or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
You're like, excuse me, I don't know who you are, crazy lady.
It was amazing. And so
Dina Lohan once went up to me at like a Hamptons party, hammered, and I had like spilled something on my dress, and she went up to me and she took off her scarf and she put it over me and like aligned it over the stain, and she was like, I have a daughter and I know how to take care of people. This is for you. that was way more Brooklyn than she is, but I was like, thank you.
I love it.
Hammered. And I was like, who's your daughter? Is she okay? Where is she? Have you called her recently?
I met her another time for drinks, and this guy was kind of hitting on all of us, or I don't know, talking to us, and he's like, what do you do? And she's like, I was a Rockette. I'm like, what? Like, you're not going to mention Lindsay Lohan and Living Lohan, and like she just like she's like, I was an entertainer, I was a Rockette. I'm an actress. I manage people. I'm like, she doesn't even mention Lindsay. And I'm like, this is amazing. And then, so good. Well, she's going to have a podcast too. I just didn't know if you knew that. Did you hear that?
Oh,
I didn't. Dina has her own podcast.
Party.
Exactly.
Join the party, Dina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get in the dirt with us.
Yeah, I'm sure that content will come out like clockwork every week. I don't think she'll like skip a week or anything.
I'll set an alarm for it so I don't miss out. Oh my God. But yeah, the antics of the Hamptons. I almost don't even watch Real Housewives of New York because it just reminds me of all like my drunk like friends in the city. It almost stresses me out. Like I have too many, like especially Real Housewives of New York. It's all like my mom's friends who I'm like, okay, she's has issues, and I don't need to watch that on TV.
Really, you don't love it? I love it.
It's too close to home for me. It's very close to home for me.
So you're saying your mom's friends get drunk and scream at each other like that when there aren't cameras around?
I have some of my mom's friends they're such like power. Like one of them's a gynecologist. She calls herself a vaginista, and she just gets drunk and yells at strangers. Like it's too close to home.
Has any of them been approached to be on the show?
They should. But not. They also don't care about like the glamour and glitz as much. Shelter Island is like the chiller vibe of the Hamptons, except for Sunset Beach. But Shelter Island has his own housewives.
Did your parents watch every episode of the show this season?
My parents are very supportive of my career. Some would say too supportive. I watched like the scene where Luke went down on me with both my mom and dad. I yelled like la 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 during it, and my dad was upset. He's like, "I'm missing the scene." And I'm like, "You don't want to hear this." But my parents and I have been very open. They just want me to be happy. As long as I'm happy, no one's pretending they're a virgin, and they're pretty great.
Did you ever
Considering.
think about, instead of saying, oh my God, saying bravo, 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 bravo during your orgasmic scenes?
I'm too drunk to be that logical and smart, but I love that you even thought of that, and I'm going to try to keep that in my like blackout back of my head.
I think that you should. I think that you should. Um,
Bravo!
I think that also what I think you need to work on, I don't know how much time there is to come up with a knockoff hangover something.
Ooh, yeah, just like
Like
a
a
skinny tea that
like
gives you diarrhea,
or a
but
pre-drink or something. I know there's a lot of those out there, but I think if it came from the summer house and you'd be like, we did 4 years of testing on this with 1% alcoholics, 1%er alcoholics on the East Coast. And it
and
also,
perform top-notch television
and then
with
if you,
just one drink.
yes. And also if you could say like, it's not been proven, but in many studies, it keeps you from getting Lyme disease. Because that's the thing that really freaked me out when I was there, was like, I was hanging out by the pool and Jill
Yeah.
Zarin's sister shows up and she's like, you know, you can get Lyme disease by being on the East Coast. And I was like, oh shit, because like nobody except Yolanda Foster on the West Coast have I ever met that got Lyme disease. And it does
She
seem,
loves being the only one.
yeah,
on
and
the West
I'm
Coast.
like, where is this, like the tick like got on a plane or
you
something?
have to like be in the woods or like walking in a lot of grass and just do tick checks at night, or take my sip drink, and
Yes.
the powder will just kill all the ticks immediately. You can
Yes.
fuck in the bush and you'll be fine.
Also, if the same concoction kept you from getting a hangover, kept you from getting Lyme disease, and kept you from getting an STD. Of course, I'd love it if it kept you from getting COVID, but that's probably premature. But
But
everything
then-
else,
Yeah.
and then that's what you should do, and tell Kyle like you can take it with a lover boy, and then he'll support it, and then Carl can also sell it when he sells the lover boy stuff at the restaurants. Is he still trying to sell the lover boy stuff? I mean, I guess you can't make meetings, right? Those last couple months.
He's
but
on the phones, I think. But you're really a business genius.
I've been
You should go on Shark Tank.
I'm a self-proclaimed Real Housewife consultant, but really any reality show now, I feel like I could consult with people and what they should do and what they need to accomplish by year one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're entering the season later on, the first season, you could, if you're beloved, second season, get fucking ready for
Yeah.
your life to fall apart and
Yeah.
end. If you can make to season 3, that's when you got to really get your business going.
Yep.
Season 4, you got to have some type of engagement, divorce, or wedding,
Or death.
or death, or a death of a boyfriend or a fiance or something. And then season 5, now you're an OG. Now you're making the real bucks, and you can kind of do your own thing. So that's. But
It really is a playbook, but there's so many tangibles that you just can't teach that make someone good on reality TV.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm so grateful that you even noticed Summer House and you've been enjoying it, because it's taken the show a while to get that momentum, and I think we kind of hit our stride a little.
Yes, I do too. Well, I hope that I hope that it continues in some effect. I mean, I just pray that we get out of this, because I would love to go to the Hamptons, but I don't want to go to the Hamptons if you can't go to any restaurants or anything. You know?
Unless if
So-
you have a little mini share house with Chris Frangioli. I'm just kidding. Chris, get over here. He's just like smoking a whatever cigar by the pool with his mom.
Yeah, I'd love that. Anyway, it was great talking to you. I really enjoy it. I hope that, when this gets over, we can get together in person, either on the West Coast and
I would love that. I love
or on
your
the East
show,
Coast.
and I love you as a comic. I think you're amazing.
you know what we should do if we if we get together is and people can try on clothes again and stuff. You should dress me in like the type
Full
of outfit
Hamptons.
yeah, very Hamptonese, and I should dress you as like an LA like an LA slut.
I would love that. And then we can take photos for our Instagram. And
Yeah.
I already see like a floppy hat for you.
Okay.
That's where we're gonna begin. I'm already
Definitely
visualizing.
like off the shoulder.
Yes.
Big, lots
I
of
kind of see a 2-piece off the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like flowy skirt. I see it for you. Navy. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'll manifest it so we can get out of COVID.
Yes, put it on your vision board.
In my childhood home, yes.
Absolutely. So fun talking to you. This is going to go up just Tuesday, so this will be good. And we'll send you everything so you can post about it and all that. And good luck with everything. I hope that we get to see more of you on TV.